Good morning. So I've been trying to film a day in the life in like 3 months. It's currently April and still haven't made a day in the life video in 2021. So here it is, about time. Anyways, this is just going to be a chilled vlog. We're going to catch up and yeah, just wanted to give you guys a quick update on how trading's been, how I've been, and yeah, let's start off with a morning forecast. It is currently 7:50 in the morning. All right, so we're jumping in with Aussie dollar. Basically, you can tell that we've been trending upwards. We've made a high, counter trend, high, pullback, high, and it looks like we're either forming what could be either a pullback to continue to the upside, or we're going to start ascending and eventually push lower. So right now, Aussie dollar isn't looking too interesting. We'll just have to see what happens, whether we're going to continue up or if we're going to break down and break this swing low here. We do have a point of inflection that could occur in this area here. If we're going to come back, tap it and push up, we'll see what happens though. As for euro dollar, we've been trending nicely. Look at that, very clear impulse, correction, push up. Got momentum behind it with these impulsive moves. However, would I want to take this and continue to the push to the upside? The more that we're in this trade, in this push up, the more valid it becomes. You know, the most, I've said this before, the most high probable time to get involved in the move is usually at the start of it. But we'll have to see how this forms, because usually what could happen is you get tagged in, like right now, and then price will just continue lower, either forming a larger correction for those who trade structure, or could push down into this inside bar candle and fill a lot of this imbalance and then push up. So you got to be careful, especially when we're more deeper into this push up. You know, I'd say we're halfway between sort of this range, this hourly range, where, I mean, we're about, I don't know, 60-70% of it. So there could be definitely time for a bigger pullback, or, you know, we could continue to the upside. But right now, just as for my plan, how I trade, I don't really like to get involved unless there's something super clear. Or I would just take the reversal when we reach a key area up here. As for euro yen, you could definitely see the difference between euro dollar and euro yen. Euro yen just a lot more messier, a lot more corrective. Something that I just don't want to really get involved in. By just looking at price action, that's just something I'm not, you know, that I know that's not ready, at least in the next couple hours. I'd rather to wait for a clear push down or a clear push up. You can see we've kind of been ascending. So we'll have to see what happens. We'll wait for the market to show its hands and then we'll evaluate from there. So pretty much the plan of action for today is to get back into my workflow, my work blocks. Now I say getting back into it. I'm going to explain a little bit more on that later on the video. But yeah, I'm going to basically be doing my sort of Q1 reflections, Q2 projections. I like to do this at the start of every new quarter. So obviously it's April now, we're in Q2. And yeah, I wanted to share a couple new protocols in terms of how I've been going about my morning routine. Every morning now I've been really like going through a bunch of these photos that I've printed out. So this one says made to overflow. This one's like, you know, one day I want to travel first class, business class. This one is like a really cool place, I guess, somewhere in Italy. I really want to go to Italy and dine in like a really pretty place like this. This is like a pretty cool London house, and hopefully the kind of work that I'll be doing, sharing blessings back home, being of service. And yeah, that's just something that every morning I'll just glance over. There's always something that kind of empowers me, inspires me, and something that I've also been incorporating into my mornings, into my day, is actually reading up on Morning Brew. So instead of like aimlessly browsing social media, I like to actually read up on relevant news, you know, that's to do with things like, you know, business or finance or even tech. And for me, I find it super informative, and actually it's pretty funny, it's pretty witty, and it's nothing like traditional news, which is kind of boring and dry. And it literally within 5 minutes, you're gonna be up to speed. Something that I found really interesting was actually the whole hype to do with NFTs. And I thought that it was still, you know, popping off, but I love how it says how it started. And then here you can see it's how it's going. It's crazy to think that average prices for NFTs have now tumbled 70% since February high. And, you know, I wouldn't have known that if it wasn't for Morning Brew. That's why I highly recommend checking out Morning Brew. There's no reason not to subscribe. It's free, literally takes 15 seconds to subscribe. And if you're interested in tech, finance, the business, the markets, then definitely go check it out. There's gonna be a link in the description, so sign up to Morning Brew today. So it is lunchtime. I'm just getting ready to go and catch up with a friend, which I haven't seen in months. I managed to do some deep ASR for AU and AJ, especially any like missed opportunities in March, and I'm gonna obviously continue that later on. But I'm gonna go grab lunch, go catch up, take a breather. Now, of course, before I leave, I'll always check the markets, set any alerts if needed. There was actually a short-term sell on AU, EU, just moving correctly. EJ, nothing. Market's looking very slow and quiet today, unless you took an AU sell. That was short-term, but yeah. So for the rest of this video, I thought we'd literally just sit down and chat and just talk about getting back into the workflow, getting back into trading when you've taken a step back. And if you don't feel like listening in, then feel free to skip off this video. And thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. But if you are staying to listen in and catch up, then yeah, I highly appreciate that. Got myself a tea, and yeah, we just catch up. Basically, I've been taking a little bit of a break from trading, in the sense that I've been feeling very overwhelmed in sort of all priorities, all areas of my life. That bleeds through into trading as well. And I think that's normal. I think that's fine. We go through that in life. And I feel like, because I have an audience, and I feel like since I share my journey on social media, on YouTube, that people always think that I've got things figured out, but that's not always the case. And I know some people will be like, well, duh, because we're human, but sometimes I feel like I do have to say that I am still human, and I will still go through things, and I won't always be on point 110% of the time, and that this is all a learning process, and it's cool that I get to share it with you guys. You know, if you're starting out on your trading journey, there's going to be moments when you feel like you need to take a step back, and definitely in the beginning, I would actually not like that. I wouldn't want to ever take a step back. I'd always felt like I had to go, but then that just hurt me in the end, and it just affected me psychologically, emotionally, mentally, in all areas, even more. But sometimes you actually do have to take a step back and, you know, realign. And I think there's nothing wrong with taking a break from trading. It's okay if you want to take a day off, a week off, or even a month off. But at the end of the day, you know that whatever you're doing on the side, that you're still going to come back to it even more refreshed, even more aligned. And definitely it was needed for me to sort of take a step back. And I'm not saying that in the terms of like I'm completely letting go of my trading responsibilities. I'm still forecasting, I'm still doing my ASR, I'm still doing my reflections, but I'm just not going at that same pace that I was before. And yeah, overall, it's just what I needed was just to take a step back, just to realign and regain that laser focused mentality that I had before. I definitely felt like I lost that a little bit, but now that we're getting back into these workflows, back into these work blocks, just being a little bit more relaxed, not being so harsh on myself, not putting too much pressure, then I know that things will just work out in the end for the good. So yeah, that's pretty much where I've been with trading. Still trading Ftmo. In terms of Ftmo, actually, they've updated. I think it's been a while now, and I'm a little bit late saying this in a video, but I know that their max now is 200K if you're doing the US dollars, but they've also increased their overall. So before it was 300K USD dollars for one sort of max trade account size. Now they've bumped out to 400K, so that's insane. That's massive. So yeah, obviously I'll be aiming for that 400K. So that Ftmo update has actually been really crazy, and it just, I don't know, it just shows the opportunity out there, like what else could happen down the line with Ftmo. So super grateful to actually be funded with them, and to, I don't know, to just have this platform to share this out. Because again, when I went into trading, I didn't know about like trading at scale. All I knew was people making a lot of money really quickly with a small account, and the clickbaity stuff that was like turning a $100 account into like 100,000 in 7 days. You know, those things just super unhealthy, are super toxic. And yeah, still trading Ftmo. Obviously I know with the whole YouTube thing, I've been a bit slow on that, but we're gonna get back into it. I've got a bunch of projects lined up, which is pretty cool. So as for actual trading and execution of trades, I'd say first half of March was pretty decent. I think there's a lot more setups from my plan, which I did take on. I'd say it was a quiet month overall, not a lot of trades I was taking. I'd say the last half of March, I didn't really place many trades. I was doing a little bit more forecasting, speculating, figuring things out on my end in terms of trading. I think that was fine. It was me taking a step back from the market, and don't ever feel guilty for doing that. Sometimes that is healthy, sometimes that is what you need, but as long as you don't fully give up on it. Like, some people will take a break and then they get comfortable and then they just don't really go back to trading. But yeah guys, that is pretty much the catch up. Gonna get back into trading, but just don't really want to be going at the same speed that I was. I'm gonna try my best to get back into being more creative. It's hard to be creative when I'm also taking a break, because creative juices just weren't flowing. But yeah, hopefully get back into it and back onto a weekly schedule. Again, got some projects lined up, so I'm excited to go and execute on those. And yeah, just working on a bunch of things, but really just having time for myself, reprioritizing, realigning. But other than that guys, just want to say thank you for watching. If you stayed till the end, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.